Good morning and happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome to our 60-minute yoga practice. Props today. You can have a yoga strap if you have one at home, a yoga strap, or if you don't have a yoga strap, you can use any belt as long as it's a non-stretchy material. So a leather belt, a canvas belt. You can also use a hand towel. So that's the prop that we'll use for a few stretches today. Also, we're going to be doing a forward fold and a plank. So if it's difficult for you to reach all the way down to the floor, you can use a chair. So I'll show the option of using a chair, so you can place your hands on the chair seat instead of going all the way down to the floor, if that makes it more accessible to you. So we are going to start with a hand gesture, a mudra. Welcome folks that are joining me live. Thank you for joining me. And I will save this video as well, so you'll be able to view it later if you like. So our hand gesture, our mudra, is from the American Sign Language, and it's the gesture for the word share. So placing one hand in front of your body, just sweep the other hand forward and back, like some for you and some for me. And that's the hand gesture for the word share. Do that one more time, and then release your hands. Give everything a little shake. And we are going to start with a spinal warm-up. So I'm backing up so you can see me head to toe. Make the number 11 with your feet, about the distance of a tennis ball between your big toes. Stack everything up in alignment. Think about your heels being your foundation. Bear the weight across the entire foot, the heels and the ball of the foot. Splay your toes wide, and then stack your knees over your heels, your hips over your heels, your shoulders over your heels. Even your ears, don't jut your chin forward. Draw that chin back, tall spine, lifting up through the rib cage and tucking your shoulder blades into your back pockets. Mountain pose, Tadasana. Let's go into our first spinal orientation, elongation. Inhale, lift the air up. Exhale, float the arms down. Do that at your own pace. If you want, you can make this even a little bit bigger by bending the knees as you scoop the hair up, and then straighten the knees as you stretch up. When you don't go at the same pace as me, you can really start to think about exaggerating the motion. So think about your own motion, and don't try to match mine. Do one more wherever you are, and release. And we'll go into standing cat and cow, flexion and extension. Exhale, round your back, bend your knees and your hips, tuck your chin. Inhale, reverse the curve, pinch the shoulder blades together. Again, at your own pace. Exhale and inhale. Think again about exaggerating the spinal motion. Feel the flexibility in your body. Do one more pattern of flexion and extension, and then release to stand tall. Going into lateral flexion, if you need to separate your feet a little bit here so you don't tip over when we tip to the side, you can make your number 11 a little bit wider. Bring both hands up above your head and start that lateral flexion. Think about the lifting side. Think about the ribcage lifting up, making space in the side body. Do one more to each side, and then return to center and release the arms down. Roll the shoulders back. Last two motions, we're going to go into rotation here. Empty coat sleeves. You put on your coat, but you didn't put your arms in the coat sleeves, and then you just swing those coat sleeves. Let your arms be the empty coat sleeves. And we start with a gentle twist of the upper body. Don't lock out your knees. Your knees are soft. Try not to move your hips. Your hips are in cement. Start to make it a bigger motion. Engage the abdominal muscles when you twist. Maybe coming to helicopter arms or windmill arms. Range of motion is up to you. One more on each side. And then release back to center. We're going to step wide. So if you didn't already widen your number 11, go ahead and make it really wide. I'm going to go into some hip sways here. All the toes are still pointing towards your device. We didn't externally rotate, so the feet are parallel. Start to sink into one hip and then the other, bending that knee. And we're going to add a little shoulder dip. So draw one shoulder forward and then the other. We're twisting here, twisting through the waistline. So engage the abdominal muscles. If you want to make this deeper, you can start to slow it down and dip that shoulder further, or maybe add a reach. You pick. One more each side. Center, rise up, and step your feet back together. We're going to do one more warm-up pose. This is a warm-up for our breath. It's called Breath of Joy. It's 3 inhales and 1 exhale. And the arm motion on your 3 inhales is forward, side, up. And then on the exhale, we're going to let it all out and just hang the body. Let your arms dangle like you're a Raggedy Ann doll. You're not going to hear my inhales because I'm going to give the cues for the arms, forward, side, up. But those are 3 inhales for you. Stand tall. We'll do it 3 times. Inhale, forward, side, up, and now exhale, Raggedy Ann. Slowly come up, stack the vertebrae, squeeze your navel. Second time, forward, side, up, exhale. Raggedy Ann, stack the vertebrae, squeeze the navel. Last time, 3 inhales, forward, side, up, exhale. Soft knees, bring all the way back up, and roll your shoulders back. All right, let's go into a standing pose called cow face. So we'll just be doing the upper body portion of cow face. And this is where we'll use our prop, which is either a strap, if you have one, or a belt, or even a hand towel. So grab that strap or belt or hand towel. I'll just call it your prop. And if you are using a belt or a strap that has a buckle, hold on to the buckle end of it so that when you bring it up and bring it behind your body, that buckle isn't going to tap you on the back. You're holding on to that heavy buckle. Lift your right arm up, hold it in your right hand, and lift your right arm up. Toss the tail behind you and then bend the elbow. So the strap is entirely behind your body. Make sure it can go in front of your armpit. And now we're going to take that left hand and grab any part of the strap. I'm going to turn so you can see. I could grab it low, down at the hips, or maybe up at the waistband or up at the shoulder blades. If you can connect your hands directly, maybe you don't need the strap, but I'm going to model with the strap. And now with your left hand, add tension to the strap. As I did that, maybe you saw my right elbow move backwards. Keep that left shoulder relaxed. Don't let the left shoulder draw up towards your ear. We're stretching the right triceps, the right side of the chest. Let's go deeper into that right side by adding a little lateral flexion, tilting your body to the left. If you want, you could even take your right foot and step it behind. Really deepen all the way down the right side body here. Standing cow face, Gomukhasana. One more breath cycle. Release the strap, come back to your number 11, and pass the strap off into your left hand. We'll do that same pose, opposite side. Lift it up to the sky, toss the tail behind you, and bend your elbow. Make sure that strap is entirely behind you and not in front of the armpit. Take your right hand, reach behind, grab any part of that strap. If you want, you could connect the fingers directly if you have shoulder mobility that allows you to do that, but I'm modeling with the strap. Use your right hand to add tension on the strap. That left elbow moves backwards slightly, and we're stretching that left triceps and the left side of the chest. If you want to deepen that stretch, add some lateral flexion, gently tilting towards the right to stretch the left side, maybe taking the left foot behind. And now maybe you've got that stretch going all the way down to the hip and thigh. Take one more breath cycle. Release the strap, come all the way back to center. We'll use this at the very end when or actually towards the middle. We'll use it seated, and then we'll also use it at the end lying down. So go ahead and keep it close by. You can rest it on your mat. We're going to go into a layer cake. Offering you a 5-layer cake today. So 5 poses, and we'll keep building, building, building. Today's layer cake includes your balance pose because it starts and ends with a balance pose. So if balance is a challenge, just know that you do not have to take the foot off the ground. Our 2 balance poses are tree and airplane. So your tree might be big toe touching the ground, and your airplane might have the big toe touching the ground behind you. So listen to your body. You don't need to visualize the perfect pose. You just need to visualize your body and what your body can do. All right, let's go. We are going to be moving to both sides of the mat in this particular layer cake. So stand in the center. Make the number 11. Our first pose is that tree pose. So from mountain, align your mountain. And then our tree pose, it could be a baby tree. I'll show baby tree the first one. Open that left knee to the left, and then return to mountain. Next one, I'm going to go to balance, but remember, you don't have to. Big toe can touch. Second time, tree, and back to mountain. Third time, tree, and back to mountain. We're going to add on curtsy. So that leg that opened up into our tree, that's going to become the leg that moves into our curtsy. So starting in mountain, baby tree or tree, and now take that foot behind you, curtsy, shoulders back, return to mountain. Second time, tree, curtsy, shoulders back, and mountain. One more time, tree, curtsy, shoulders back, and mountain. Adding on, Cossack squat. If you've seen Fiddler on the Roof and you see those Russian dancers and they're way low, Cossack squat is kind of named after that. So the left leg that's behind is going to go out to the side, and you're going to lift your right toe. So that's a Cossack squat. Let's start, though, with that balance pose. Tree, curtsy, shoulders back, and now shift that left leg all the way over to the left, hands on the thigh, Cossack squat, center up, mountain. Second time, tree, curtsy, Cossack squat, and mountain. One more time, tree, curtsy, shoulders back, Cossack squat, lift the right toes, and mountain. All right, adding on our fourth layer of our layer cake, we're going to stay low from the Cossack squat. When we're shifted over to the left, we're going to come back center, but don't rise up. Stay low in chair squat. You might notice that this is all about the thighs. Today's focus is thighs. We're working on thigh strength right now. Let's start with tree, balance, curtsy, shoulders back, Cossack squat, shift left, keep the hips low, draw the navel in, and chair squat, Utkatasana, rise up, mountain. Second time, tree, curtsy, shift over to Cossack squat, stay low, squeeze the navel, chair squat, rise up. One more time, tree, curtsy, Cossack squat, stay low, squeeze the navel, chair squat, rise up, mountain. All right, last pose. Remember, it starts and ends with balance. So your balance pose at the end is airplane. This left leg that's been doing all the moving is going to send back. It could touch the floor, or you can come into airplane. I just kick the wall behind me, so I have to shift forward a little bit so I don't kick the wall. And we'll go into our sequence again. Tree, curtsy, Cossack squat, chair squat, squeeze the navel, rise up, look at something that doesn't move, and then mountain. Second time, tree, curtsy, Cossack squat, shift left, stay low, squeeze the navel, chair squat, bear all the weight on that right foot, airplane, and return to mountain. Last time on this side, and then you can do the whole thing on the other side. Tree, curtsy, Cossack squat. Stay low, squeeze the navel, chair squat. And now lift into airplane, fly your airplane, rise up, and return to mountain. Good work, my friends. Little heat in the body maybe after that sequence. We're going to do the entire thing on the other side. Now range of motion is up to you. So if you're looking at me going into this Cossack squat really wide, you don't have to go that wide. Listen to your body. Range of motion is always up to you. So your Cossack squat could be very much more narrow or as wide or wider. You pick. All right, let's start with our mountain, a line. And we'll go into baby tree or tree. I'll do the first one, baby tree. Open into tree, right knee is opening, and return to mountain. Second time, balance if you like, tree and mountain. Third time, tree, engage the navel, and release. Adding on that curtsy. Remember, shoulders back and open chest. Right leg is going to go behind. Starts with tree though. Tree, curtsy, shoulders back, and mountain. Second time, tree, curtsy, and mountain. Third time, tree, curtsy, and mountain. Going into our Cossack squat, we're going to the right leg that's behind is going to step all the way over to the right. I'm going to move this chair so I don't hit it. And we start with tree. Curtsy. Cossack squat. Shift that right leg out and lift your left toes. Come back to mountain. Second time, tree. Curtsy. Shift right. Cossack squat. Toes up. And back to mountain. One more time. Tree. Curtsy. Cossack squat. And mountain. Now we stay low from the Cossack squat and come into our chair squat at center. Really think about engaging those abdominal muscles when you go into your squats. Protects the low back by giving you core stability. Tree, curtsy, Cossack squat, stay low, squeeze the navel, chair squat, rise up, mountain. Tree, curtsy, shoulders back, shift right, Cossack squat, stay low, squeeze the navel, and rise up. Last time, tree, curtsy, shift right, center, squeeze the navel, and rise up, mountain. Last pose, last layer on our cake. Our last one is the balance, airplane. Remember, your airplane could be big toe touching. You pick. Really work on core stability here. It's only one breath, so you don't have to hold it very long. Tree, curtsy, shoulders back, Cossack squat, center up, chair squat, rise into airplane, balance, and release. Second time, tree, curtsy, tall spine, Cossack squat, center, chair, squeeze the navel, rise up in balance, airplane, and release. Last time, tree, curtsy, Cossack squat, center, chair squat, squeeze the navel, rise up, spread your airplane wings, and release. Shake everything out. Whew. Maybe you have a little heat going in the body. Maybe the heart rate is elevated a little bit. If you have some water, go ahead and take a sip. We'll take a quick breath here, and then we'll switch into our next standing sequence, which I'm going to show an option to use the chair. So I'll bring my chair back into the picture here. We're going to start with a half forward fold. So you won't need the chair for that. We'll do two variations of half forward fold. Then we're going to, because we've stretched those thighs with our half forward fold, then we're going to work into a full forward fold, option to use the chair. All right, so making the number 11, stand tall, mountain pose. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold from the hips. Let your hands touch your thighs. Maybe come down to your shins, but don't go any further. Look slightly ahead of your toes. Align your neck and spine. And we're targeting a stretch in the backs of the legs and the hips here. Take one more breath cycle. Bend your knees, squeeze the navel, rise up, reach up, and release. Now we're going to go into the second variation of half forward fold, where we add a crossing of the legs. So take your right leg in front of the left. Stay here, find your balance. Inhale. Exhale, fold from the hips. Let both hands come to either the right thigh or the right shin. Again, you're looking slightly forward. Align the neck and spine. Breathe. One more breath cycle. Bend the knees, rise up, and come back to your parallel position number 11. We'll do that on the other side. Take your left leg in front of your right. Find your stability first. Bear the weight through both feet. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold from the hips. Let your hands find your left thigh or the left shin. Again, gaze is slightly forward. Align the neck and spine. Don't hang the head here. You're looking slightly forward, not towards the knees. One more breath cycle. Soften the knees, rise up, and come back to your number 11. All right, so we're working on stretching out the backs of the thighs here, the hamstrings. We have a lot of tightness in that area because we sit too much. So that's a great stretch for the hamstrings. And now let's take it even deeper with a full forward fold. Now, maybe that's too much for you, so I'm going to show option with the chair. We're going to go into a full forward fold and hang there for a bit, and then we're going to step wide. So I'm going to put the chair right in the center here so that I can step wide and use the length of my mat. I'm going to show using the chair. If you don't need the chair, take your hands all the way down to the ground. Inhale. Exhale, fold from the hips. Let your hands find the chair. And now this time, instead of looking forward, I want you to look at your knees. Relax the back of the neck. If you're not using the chair, maybe your hands can find the floor. So I'm showing that option as well. Or you can stay with the chair. You pick. Take one more breath cycle here. Push your bottoms away. Deepen the stretch. And now step wide, keeping your hands where they are at the center line, either on the chair or finding the floor. Look underneath your legs. Look behind you. Relax the back of the neck. If you're using the chair, you're going to make a very small walking motion. Walk both hands over to the right edge of the chair. If you're using the floor, walk both hands over to the right foot. Breathe. Keep the head bowed. You're looking towards the knee. One more breath cycle. Come back to center, either on the floor or the chair. And we'll go the other side. If you're using the chair, it's a small walk over to the left side of the chair so that you can look down at your left ankle. Or if you don't need the chair, you're walking over towards that left foot. Look at your left knee. Legs are wide. Relax the back of the neck. Breathe. One more breath cycle. And bring those hands back to center, either on the floor or on the chair. We are going to transition to plank. I'm going to move my chair to the end of the mat. If you're using the chair, you can as well. But you're going to take those wide legs and step them back to center. And we're in plank. Push into your chair or the mat, lifting up through the shoulders. I'm going to show the variation using the mat, lifting up through the shoulders Do not hang your head here. Your gaze is slightly ahead of your fingers. You can keep your hands on the chair. I'm going to show this variation, this sequence, with my hands on the mat, but you can keep your hands on the chair. We're going to use this sequence for plank and down dog. Let's go into down dog 3 times. Exhale, hips up. Push your thigh bones into your legs. Lift through the armpits. And let your ears be close to your arms. Inhale back to plank. Lift up through the shoulders. Second time, exhale, down dog. Inhale, plank. One more time, exhale, down dog. Stay here. We're going to go into 3-legged dog. Bear the weight on your right foot, let your left foot float, and send it all the way up to the sky. You can do this with your hands on the chair, you pick. We're going to tuck the knee into the nose 3 times. Exhale, tuck and lift, tuck and lift. Last one, tuck and lift. Bring that foot all the way down. Bear the weight on the left foot, float the right, send it up to the sky 3 times. Tuck and lift, tuck and lift. Last one, tuck and lift. Bring that foot down. Draw your knees down to the mat. And let go of your chair if you were using your chair. And sink back into child's pose. Ooh, a little rest after that sequence. We are going to go into seated poses here. So I'm going to move my device down lower. You can do the same, or if you have it in a good spot, you can leave it there. And we're going to come into a seated pose with your legs extended forward. We don't need the chair anymore, so I can get rid of it so it's not in the way of any of the poses that we'll be doing. Extend your feet forward, long legs. Move the fleshy part of your bottoms away from your sits bones. Sit tall. And we're going to go into a seated forward fold. Place your hands just below your knees. Draw your entire upper body forward and draw the elbows down. You can bow your head here, but keep the head reaching towards your toes. Lengthen the back body. Observe where it feels tight. Take a breath cycle, and then lift all the way back up. We're going to do some seated stretches. We're going to focus on the 3 areas of tightness. The thighs, of course we've been focusing on the thighs today anyway, but also the hips and the low back. We're going to do some stretches for all 3 areas, and then we'll do that fold again, and maybe we'll find a little bit more accessibility. So let's start with half Lord of the Fishes. Draw your right foot in. If you feel very full, if you had a big breakfast and you haven't really digested that yet, then you could stay here and come into your twist and hug the knee with the foot on the inside of the leg. Or for a deeper stretch, cross it over if that's okay for your abdominal cavity. Sit tall, turn into your twist, look off towards the right, and hug that right knee into your body. Half Lord of the Fishes. Option here, you can keep both arms hugging the knee, or you can add to your twist by taking your right hand and placing it on the earth behind you, or even taking the back of the hand to your low back. Opening through that right shoulder, getting a little extra stretch on the front of the right deltoid. Breathe. One more breath cycle. Spiral back to face front, and we go into figure 4 stretch. Allow that right foot to float. Bring your hands behind you, bend your left knee, and set up your stretch. Less intense, more intensity, or most intensity, where you pick up the hips and set them right down next to the heel. Breathe. If that's too much, then back it off. You're in charge. Listen to your knees, listen to your hips. We're going for a deep muscle here, gluteus medius piriformis area. Breathe, wiggle the toes. Let's add a little motion to this. So this is a static stretch right here, no motion. And when we add motion, we call it a dynamic stretch. So push that right foot towards the left and then come back to center. You're only moving maybe 3 to 4 inches. Push and return. One more time. Push and return. Stay here in the static stretch for one more breath cycle. And now go ahead and straighten both legs out. And we'll go into head to knee pose. So open into a V sit and then draw your right foot next to the left inner thigh. Turn towards that left extended leg. Bring both hands below the knee. Draw the elbows down and reach your upper body towards those left toes. We're targeting a stretch here on the right side of the body, the hip, the low back, and even the outer thigh. Breathe. If you want, you can close your eyes here. And just take a few more breath cycles, and then we're going to add a variation. Take one more breath cycle. And we're going to add what's called a bind. When we connect something from the right side of the body to something on the left side of the body, it's called a bind. So let's keep your right hand resting on the left leg, but pick up your left hand, thread it behind the right arm, and set the left hand on the right inner thigh. Now imagine you want to push your two thighs away from each other. Add a little pressure. Keep looking down at your left leg though. Add that pressure. It could be a constant pressure, or you could relax it with your breath. Inhale, push. Exhale, relax. Or maintain that push, but keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. Breathe. Head to knee pose with the bind. One more breath cycle. Unthread the arm, lift all the way up, and we're going to do that entire sequence on the other side. So straighten the legs out in front of you. Give the knees a little shake, and we started with half Lord of the Fishes. Draw your left foot in, same thing, you could stay here and turn into your twist, or if it's comfortable that you can cross over for that deeper twist. Lift up through the rib cage, relax the shoulders, and turn and hug that knee into your body with both arms. Looking out towards the left, breathe, tall spine, level chin. Option to go a little deeper into your twist. You can continue to hug that leg with your right arm and take your left hand and just set it on the mat behind you. That'll open your shoulders a little bit more towards the left, deepening your twist. And then if you want to take it that last step, take that left hand behind your body, let the back of the hand rest at the low back, adding that little baby stretch for the front of the deltoid, the anterior deltoid. One more breath cycle. Spiral back to face front, and we'll go into seated figure 4. Allow that ankle to rest on the thigh, the foot is floating. Bring your hands behind you, and bend your right knee. Set it up for your body, less intensity or more intensity, or maximum intensity. Okay, wiggle the toes. Don't overly flex the feet here. Let's relax the feet muscles. Set your awareness to the part of the body that we're stretching, targeting that left hip. Deep muscle here, gluteus medius piriformis area. Let that area sink to the mat and feel that stretch deepen just by setting your awareness to the part of the body that's getting the benefit. We're in our static stretch right now. Let's go into our dynamic stretch. Push that foot towards the right and come back to center. Do that again. A little stretch, push, and come back. One more time. Push and return. Hold your static stretch for one more breath cycle. Heavy hips. And now straighten both legs out in front of you. And we'll go into head to knee pose, Shanushirsasana. Open to a V and then tuck that left foot against the right inner thigh. Turn towards the right leg, folding from the hip crease, not from the waist. That would look like this, and that doesn't help our stretch at all. Fold from the hip crease. Let the entire upper body reach towards those toes. Set the hands just below the knee and draw the elbows down. Breathe. Take a few breath cycles here. Set your awareness on the part of the body that's getting the benefit. We're targeting left side this time, left low back, left hip, left outer thigh. But keep looking towards the right foot. Breathe. Deepen. One more breath cycle and we'll add our variation. And we're going to add that bind. So keep your left hand on the right leg. Pick up your right hand, thread it behind the left arm, and then set the hand on your left inner thigh. And now don't look at your screen anymore. Look down at your right knee. Reach your head towards your right toes and think about separating your thighs by pushing on your two hands as if you're trying to push your thighs away from each other. And then relax. You can do that again and maintain the pressure as long as you keep breathing, or you can continue to relax the pressure with the exhalation. You pick. Let's take 2 more breath cycles. You control how much pressure you add. And now unthread that right arm, come back into your static pose here, and then slowly lift up out of the pose. Sitting tall, extend both legs forward again. And we are going to go into another set of stretches, really benefiting the thighs on this next set. And we're going to use our strap or our belt or our hand towel. We're going to use it as a sling to carry a leg. We're going to do a lifting motion up and down, and we're going to do a sweeping out to the side. That's called abduction. And then we're going to deepen that by holding some of those poses. So let's start with baby versions of all those poses, and then we have somewhere to grow. Place your strap or prop belt on the sole of your right foot. Sit tall. You can hold the ends of your prop with one or both hands, and we're only going to lift 6 inches. Very small, so we have somewhere to grow. You'll get a chance, don't worry. Shoulders relaxed. Lift up the rib cage, and we lift 6 inches 3 times. Lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower. And now we're going to add a deeper range of motion. For you, it could be the same. Maybe that's where you need to be, 6 inches. But we'll slow it down in case some folks are going up a little higher and you have an opportunity to come up a little higher. Don't lean backwards. If you lean backwards to get that leg up really high, you have not changed the angle between the leg and the torso. The goal is to change that angle and get the stretch. Shoulders relaxed. Inhale, lift and lower. Second time, lift and lower. Third one, we hold. Lift up. Maybe crawl towards your foot. Maybe grab the foot directly. You pick. Shoulders relaxed, tall spine, lift the rib cage. And this is a modification of Heron Pose, Kritasana. Breathe. One more breath cycle. And release. Keep the strap or prop on that same foot. We're going to go into the sweeping motion. The first 3, only halfway, so that we have somewhere to grow. Makes us feel like we're making progress, right? Float the calf, one or both hands on your prop. Inhale, open, exhale, close. Second time, halfway, return. Third time, halfway, return, and rest the calf. Now, we'll grow to a bigger range of motion if that's accessible to you, and we'll slow it down. Float the calf. Inhale, open, exhale, close, open, and close. Third one we hold. If you need stability, place your left fingertips on the earth. If you want to add to your stretch, you can elevate the heel. Maybe crawl down towards the foot. Maybe grab the inside edge of the foot directly. Again, you can use those left fingertips for stability. And this is half upright angle. Maybe your heel is still just above the earth. That's okay. Only you know what your body's feeling. Listen to your body. We're going to add to this. We're going to try to enhance our stretch by going a little bit further than our comfort zone. So now push the foot away from your device and then return. Twice more. Push away, return. Last one. Push away, return. Bend your knee. Remove the prop from your right foot and extend that leg forward. We're going to do that entire sequence on your left leg. So go ahead and place that prop on the sole of your left foot. Remember, we start with those 6-inch lifts, 3 of them in a row. Shoulders relaxed, rib cage lifted. Inhale, lift and lower. Second time, lift and lower. Third one, lift and lower. And now we grow to your range of motion, and I'll slow it down. Inhale, lift and lower. Second one, lift and lower. Don't lean back. Third one, we hold. Lift, maybe crawl closer to the foot or grab the foot, you pick. Shoulders relaxed, rib cage lifted. Breathe. One more breath cycle. And release. Going into our opening motion, abduction. Sit tall. Float the cat. Inhale, open halfway and return. Second time, return, and third one. Return, rest the calf, and we'll go into that same motion. Your range of motion may be a little further, or maybe it's the same spot. You pick. Float the calf, inhale, open, and close. Inhale, exhale, third one we hold. Stay here. Option for stability through the right fingertips off to the right. Option to elevate the heel, crawling down towards the foot or grabbing the inside edge of the foot. Again, you can place those right fingertips to give you some stability if you need. And we're going to add or enhance the stretch because we've got to come out of our comfort zone a little bit. Push the foot away from your device and then return. Second time, push back and return. Last one, push. Return, bend the knee, remove the prop from the left foot, and extend those legs forward. All right, we are going to go back into our forward fold, our seated forward fold here. Bringing the hands just below the knees. Start to draw your upper body towards your toes. Allow your elbows to relax. And just make an assessment. Does this feel different than the first time we did it, before we did all those hip and thigh and low back stretches? I hope it does feel a little more accessible. Maybe you even have a greater range of motion. Take one more breath cycle. And lift all the way up to sit tall. All right, before we lie down, I'm going to add one seated pose here. That's a seated balancing pose called flowering lotus. So we're going to turn our body into a lotus flower. So it starts out with a little bit of a bound ankle pose. So bend both knees and open the knees out to the side, but don't come all the way down into a bound angle. This is just to set it up. And now you're going to take your hands and go underneath your calves, one at a time. Pick up your feet, capture your calves on your forearms, balance on your sits bones. Soles of the feet are touching, and this is flowering lotus. Working on a little core stability here to balance on your sits bones. Take one more breath cycle. Spread your arms, lower the feet, close the knees, curl your body into a tight little ball. Breathe, and then sit tall. We're going to go into our lying down poses. So keep your strap handy. We're going to use that. Bring your feet towards the skinny end of your mat. And don't just flop down onto your backs. I want you to use your core strength. So place your hands on the sides of your legs, curl your body into a C shape, and try to put one vertebra at a time onto the mat. Slowly, slowly, slower. All the way down. And when you reach the bottom, go ahead and give yourselves a bonus full body stretch. Inhale, exhale, yawn. And then hug your knees into your body. Add a little sway if that feels good. Massage that low back. We are going to go into some stretches for our thighs. So plant your feet flat, grab your prop, and we are going to look for an increase in range of motion. So we're going to do our first stretch in one particular orientation, and then we want to make sure we mimic that orientation when we do it again at the end. So we want to have the same. So we're comparing apples to apples. So that configuration is Starting with both knees bent, draw your right leg towards you. Grab your prop and place the prop on the sole of the right foot and extend the leg to the sky. Your left knee is bent and your left foot is flat on the mat. Don't straighten it out yet. Shoulders relaxed. So even though you reached up for your strap, if your shoulders lifted up, and they probably did, let them fall back down. And now pull that leg towards you and release. Pull and release. And on the third one, pull and hold. Feel the tightness on the back of your thigh, back of the calf. We're stretching out the muscles. Very similar to what we did when we were seated and we did those 6-inch lifts, except this time gravity is our friend and we get to lie down. Make a mental note where your toes line up to something on the ceiling. Maybe there's a light fixture or a little speck that you can remember. And now we're going to go into our stretches. So straighten out your left leg. Hold both ends of the strap in your left hand and draw that leg towards your device. Let the left elbow come down to the earth and let the leg be heavy in the strap. Targeting a stretch on the outer thigh here. Breathe. Really think about that leg surrendering the weight onto the strap. Your left bicep is doing the work to hold up the leg. One more breath cycle. Put a tiny bend in the knee as you lift it back up. Transfer the prop into your right hand and now open the leg to the right. I've got a piece of furniture here so I can't go very far, but you could go further if you don't have anything in the way. Keep those shoulders relaxed and let the weight of the leg be heavy in the strap. You can bring this elbow all the way down to the earth and let your arm be supported so that right biceps can do the work of holding up the leg. If you want to go a little deeper here, the prop that you're holding in your right hand, pull it towards your nose. Breathe. One more breath cycle. And now put a little softness in your knee, bring it back to straight, and now set it up the same way. Bend your left knee, left foot is flat, so we do the stretch the same. Hold the strap ends in one or both hands and pull that leg towards you. Keep the knee straight and look to see if your toes line up to a new spot on the ceiling. And even though I wasn't able to open my leg very far, I'm already seeing an increase in the range of motion just from those little baby stretches. So it really helps to elongate those muscles. You actually see the difference. Take one more breath cycle. Bend your knee into your chest. Remove the strap, and we'll do that sequence on the other side. Draw your left knee in, place the prop on the sole of your left foot, extend the leg up to the sky. Remember, we want to do it the same, so we'll keep that right knee bent and the right foot flat. If your arms are reaching up, your shoulders may have lifted up, so let them fall back. Twice, we do it with motion, in and back, in and back. And third one, we hold. The knee is straight to get the maximum benefit of the stretch on the back of the leg. Look up to see where your toes line up on the ceiling. Maybe you have to reference off the wall if your ceiling is just plain. Take one more breath cycle. And now release that tension, straighten the right leg, and lower the leg away from your device, targeting the outer thigh first. Breathe. If you can bring that right elbow all the way down to the earth, let the leg be heavy in the strap. Breathe. One more breath cycle here. Put a tiny bend in the knee to bring it back to vertical. Transfer your prop into your left hand, and now lower that leg towards your device, inner thigh stretch. Allow that left elbow to come down to the earth, and let the bicep do the work of supporting the weight of the leg. Let the weight of the leg be heavy in the strap. Breathe. If you want to enhance the stretch, You can take the prop that you're holding in your left hand and draw it just an inch towards your nose. Breathe. One more breath cycle. Put a small bend in the knee to bring the leg back to vertical. Set it up the same by bending your right knee, placing the right foot flat on the mat. Hold the strap with one or both hands and pull that leg towards you. And hopefully you're seeing a new spot, your toes lining up to a new spot on the ceiling. Keeping that knee straight, keeping the shoulders relaxed. Take one more breath cycle. And bend the knee into your chest. Remove the prop, set it off to the side. We're done with that. Hug your knees, add a little sway if that feels good. We do just a few more stretches here. We've stretched the thigh muscles, tops, not tops, backs, sides, inner and outer, but not the tops of the thighs. So to stretch the tops of the thighs, we need to lie on our side. So roll towards your device, and go ahead and prop yourself up on that elbow. We're going to get both sides, so it doesn't matter which side you start with. The top leg, we float, grab the foot. Maybe if you can't reach your foot, grab your pant leg, that works too. And draw that heel as close as you can to your body. Targeting the stretch on the quadriceps. Breathe. One more breath cycle. And release. And now you're not going to see me for a moment because we're going to do the other side. You're just going to turn away from your device. Prop yourselves on the opposite elbow. Float the top leg, grab the foot or the pant leg, and draw that heel into your bottom. Don't worry about looking at your screen. Just take a few breath cycles here. One more. Release, and lie on your backs again. Now we've finished stretching those thigh muscles, so let's get the hips again. Let's do that figure 4 stretch. We did it when we were seated. Now let's do it lying down, again, because gravity is our friend. Pick up your right leg, place the right ankle on top of the left thigh, and now reach behind your left thigh and draw that thigh closer to your body. Because we reached forward, our shoulders pulled off the mat, so go ahead and let them fall back onto the mat. Breathe. Look up at the ceiling. You don't need to look at your screen now. Survey your body. Do you have more in this stretch? Then take that left foot and bring it up a little higher. That'll add a little more pressure into that stretch, and you'll feel that enhance the stretch in that right hip. If you want, you don't have to stay at this point of maximum pressure. You can lift it up and then lower it back down. Lifting and lowering, and that's once again a stretch with motion, a dynamic stretch. Or you can maintain your static stretch, whatever feels good to you. Take one more breath cycle. And release, and we'll switch. Place your left ankle on top of the right thigh. Reach behind, grab that thigh. Again, my shoulders lifted up because I reached forward, so fall back down. And if you want that extra pressure, lift that right foot a little bit higher. You're going to feel that change the stretch. And if you want, add that motion. You pick. Breathe. One more breath cycle. And release that foot all the way down. Plant both feet flat on the mat. Set your feet a little bit wide, maybe out to the edges of the mat. Your hands could be on your belly. They could be in a T or up in cactus arms. We're going to go into windshield wipers, a dynamic stretch, lowering both knees to one side and then the other. The knees are tracking the same direction. And this is just a little massaging action for the gluteal area. As well, we're also getting a little spinal rotation, a little benefit for the spine. One more to each side. Come back to center. We're going to go into happy baby here. One more hip stretch and low back as well. Draw both knees into your body. Flex the feet. And now let the soles of the feet look up at the ceiling. Reach up and connect your hands to either your shins, your ankles, your big toes, or grab the soles of the feet. Draw those bent knees closer to your armpits, and then relax the shoulders back towards the mat. They might stay up a little bit because if you're reaching all the way to the soles of your feet, then it'll be a little bit hard to get those shoulders all the way back down. But think about them falling backwards. If you want, you could add a little baby sway here. Massaging the low back area. You could even add a little baby kick, one at a time. Partially straighten one knee and then the other. And that's a bonus hamstring stretch. Take 2 more breath cycles. Pause the motion. Bring your hands back down to the mat. One at a time, bring your feet down to the mat. Lengthen your legs. One more pose before we go into our relaxing pose. And this is for the face. So we've got muscles all over our body, and it makes no sense to focus on everything except the face. So let's add just a few stretches for the facial muscles. This is called lion face. And I'm turned to look at you right now to project my voice, but I want you not to look at the screen. Just look straight up at the ceiling. And in this pose, your eyes are going to be closed, so you cannot look and see my silly face. And nobody's looking at you. You're in your own home. So we're all going to make kind of a silly face to stretch the facial muscles. We're going to inhale, opening up the mouth as wide as we can. And when we exhale, we stick out the tongue and we kind of make a lion roar, but it more sounds like so not really much of a roar, but that's okay. So look straight up at the ceiling, close your eyes, inhale, open wide, and then roar. We'll do it twice more. Inhale, open wide. One more. Inhale, open wide. And now just make all kinds of funny shapes with your mouth. Wiggle it around. And then come into a relaxed face. Lips are gently closed. Eyes are closed. Hands can continue to rest where they are, if they were on your belly or in cactus arms. Whatever feels comfortable to you. We're just going to finish off with relaxation. I'm sitting up just to project my voice, but you remain in a very relaxed pose here. Lying on your back. If you need to bend your knees, go ahead. Be comfortable wherever you are. Relax your brow, relax your face. Remember that very first hand gesture that we started our practice? It was the American Sign Language gesture for the word share. So while you're relaxing, I'll just thank you for sharing your hour with me, sharing your yoga practice. I hope that you received many benefits. Again, our focus today was thighs. So we started off with a lot of strength for the thighs, that layered cake. And then it included balance poses too, lots of balance. And then we did a lot of stretching for the thighs. Hopefully you saw increases in your range of motion. Take one more breath cycle here. And we're going to return to a seated pose. So however you want, you could do a sit-up if you want some more strength, or you could roll to your side and push into the earth, coming back to a seated pose as we began. My quote today is from Buddha, and it's about sharing. And it is written that thousands of candles can be lit from a single candle, and the light of that single candle is not shortened. And the moral is happiness never decreases by being shared. Your happiness actually grows because you make others happy. Bring your hands outside your hips Inhale to the sky. Let your thumbs touch your mind, your spirit, breath, and your body. The spirit in me honors the spirit in all of you. Namaste, my friends. Thank you for joining me. I'll save this video, so if you liked it, you can watch it again at some future time. Thanks for joining me and have a great day. Bye-bye.